Welcome back to the Show Me Your Knits podcast. My name is Mary Grace, and I'm so happy that you're here. This is my first podcast back since September. A lot has changed. The environment, I'm standing instead of sitting, so you'll see me moving around a lot more probably. But also just some life stuff. So I sort of fell off with the podcast in September. I went on another fire assignment up in Idaho and then came back, went through a breakup, went through a move, and then now here we are. I kind of was just not, I didn't have like the energy, the creative capacity to do this. I was knitting a ton. I won't show you all of that today, just because it's like months and months of stuff. But yeah, I just sort of went through a transition, and then now with the new year, sort of some new creative energy, I'm ready to get back to the podcast. I will say, if you're curious what I was knitting over the last few months, make sure to follow me on Instagram, Show Me Your Knits. I post a lot of things there. I post stories of the sorts of different crafts and things I'm experimenting with and all that, but also I post just more consistently than I do on YouTube. These are still going to be about every 2-ish weeks is my goal. But like I'll talk about a little bit later, I think I'm just kind of knitting less right now. So that's the plan. So follow me on Instagram if you're interested. If you're interested in the podcast, make sure to subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and like it, or give me more than like a minute and then like it at the end. But thanks for being here. So we'll go ahead and get started with what I'm wearing today. I'm doing the What Abby Wore January Outfit Challenge on Instagram, and today's challenge was to style a winter accessory. So I am in my seed stitch scarf, um, which is just, I mean, I don't want to say self-drafted. It's just a long scarf with seed stitch, but it's I didn't follow a pattern for it, I guess. So it's knit with Mezzo Makes Marigold from her Joanne collection. I talked about this a little bit in my Everything I Knit in 2024 wrap up video that I think a lot of you probably watched. I had like way more success with that video than I thought I was going to, which is great. So if you followed from that, thank you. These are going to end up being rambly, I can already tell you. But I just had to style the scarf today. I'm in my like oldest, most torn up shirt. I'm feeling cozy. It's snowing outside, and we're just going to talk through some knits. But I love this big winter pop of color. The yarn is really soft. The seed stitch knit up really soft as well. And also it's convenient because I decided to stick with the mic, and now you have a nice place to, nestle in. Let's get started with finished objects. My notes are over to the side today, so if you see me looking off screen, I could be looking at the dog, but I'm probably looking at my notes. So to get us started, I just want to say since we're starting in a new year, this is everything that I've worked on since January, or I guess everything I've finished since January 1st. Like I said, I'm not going to go back and do everything that I did since September, but we've got quite a lot of items in here. A funny thing is too, I actually recorded a podcast before my last fire assignment, and it was going to be like 20 minutes long. I was like cruising through everything I'd been working on, and I never posted it. But what can you do? So we'll just get started with everything January 1st and onward. So the only, I guess, garment that I've finished is this. It's so drapey, it's hard to hold up everything. But this is my Gallant Sweater by Kadri. I knit the pattern with the Aran weight measurements, but this is a boucle, so you can kind of see the openness, which is what I wanted. But I know that pattern comes in a couple different sizes or like yarn weights, and so I have the Aran pattern, and it's the second time I've knit this pattern, and I absolutely love it. I love this I-cord detail. Still wants to focus on me, but I love the I-cord detail on the sleeves and on the bottom. I did make this one pretty cropped, which was the intention. I've talked about it before. I make everything I wear cropped. I kind of have you at a bad height, but it works perfect with I have like a high-waisted corduroy skirt, and I made this as my birthday sweater. So like I said, this is Mezzo Makes Blue Clay. The colorway is Shore Store from the Jersey Shore collection. I saw this yarn and I was like, I absolutely need it. And then I was like trying to reason with myself of like, do I really need to like invest in that right now? And then I was looking for other rainbow boucles, and like obviously I love supporting Kate. We have this and other yarns coming in this video that are all Mezzo Makes yarns. But I was like, oh, like, do I need it right now? Because I'm like I was like on a trip whenever it launched, and I was like, I'm gonna invest in a sweater quantity of boucle. Um, and then I was looking up like other rainbow yarns, other rainbow boucles, because I knew I wanted it in a boucle, and I was like, no, I just have to do it. And I ended up buying 4 skeins, and this used 2 and a little bit of a third, so I actually have one completely unwound skein, and then I have, this is how much I have of the my third skein. So I think I might do something like a bag or something with those, or with this. It's bringing me a lot of joy in winter. I'm like looking past the camera because there's like really fat snowflakes falling right now. But like something about the bright colors in winter is what's sort of motivating me right now. And yeah, I really loved working with this yarn. It's super soft. This is like open, but not, just still holding things, but it's open, but not like see-through, really. Like I'm pretty sure I wore this with like a lime green tank top underneath, and it was no problem. You couldn't see anything through it, which is great. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to talk about. Absolutely love this project. My only garment that I finished since the start of the year. And like I said, it was for my birthday. So wore it out to some music down in Colorado with some friends, and it was great. I think I want to start that tradition of a birthday sweater every year, because I think sort of seeing where I'm at mentally for every birthday, and what I'm like investing my time and money and energy into as my like signature piece, maybe for the year or whatever. So I think that would be pretty cool. And then my next birthday will be my 30th birthday. So it could be something very like cool and sophisticated, or also something rainbow and colorful again, probably more along the lines of that option, but we'll see. So the next finished object I have to talk about, oh, one more thing I wanted to say about the Gallant sweater. I did make it in an extra large, so the like dimensions, I didn't make any modifications to the shoulders or anything. All that is knit is an extra large. It just like crops right about like here instead of being longer, because my other one is really oversized. I knit my other one in a 2X, and it's oversized and long, and it blocked really long because it's my scrappy sweater. So yeah, this one's just like it's scaled down as a size smaller, but also a much bigger or much shorter sweater overall. And I think that's all I wanted to say about it. So now moving on to my next project is we'll call these my father and son beanies. These are also knit with Mezzo Makes yarn. The darker of the 2 yellows is the Tots DK from the Napoleon Dynamite collection, and then the lighter is part of the colorway is called Waffles, and it was from the Parks and Rec subscription club collection from this year, or I guess last year now. But yeah, I knit it's the 2x2 hat. The pattern is just called 2x2 by Ann G. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I've made this hat. If you follow on Instagram, it's the same pattern I used for my Eclipse yarn, like knit a hat in one day pattern, or knit a hat in one day reel. It's the same pattern. So I've knit this before. This is for my friend Jake and his son. I'm very late in sending Christmas presents, but these are really fun. I still have enough yarn to put pom-poms on both of them. I don't really think that Jake is a pom-pom kind of guy, but I think it would be funny to put one on there that he thinks he can't remove. And then his kiddo is 3, so obviously you kind of want a pom-pom for a 3-year-old. That's pretty adorable. So the pattern, this is knit to pattern, this size. I know it says to use worsted. DK is what I had. It's fine. It's just like a little bit thinner. It stretches a ton. It's great. I knit this one exactly to size. I didn't make any alterations. But then for the smaller size, I cast on 16 less stitches, and the pattern says to knit to 8.5 to 9.5 inches before you start doing the crown decreases. And so for the kid size, I did 8. And then it still decreased pretty quickly, but it looks, like they look like proportional to each other. I didn't hopefully mess it up too bad, and hopefully it fits. This is the ribbing is so stretchy that this like almost fits on my head. I look ridiculous, but it does like can get the feeling that it will probably be the right size for the kiddo. So, um, yeah, these are really great. I talked about this yarn in my last video too, because the DK base that Kate uses is really soft. It's really squishy. I have ribbed socks, like DK ribbed socks, also in this yarn, and it's just really nice to work with, and really nice to wear because it's just like, I don't know if you can see, but or like, can you hear it? That's dumb, but it's really squishy. And then, so yeah, those are the beanies, the 2x2 beanies. And then the next thing that I've been working on, let me get all these rounded up. I've been, again, I said I'll talk about this in a minute, but I've been kind of like and like unmotivated in terms of knitting, and I've been wanting something with like a little bit more instant gratification. So I've been really into knitting scrunchies over the last, there's one that doesn't have the ends woven in, that over the last like couple weeks. I made one and then just put like with some leftover mohair, and just put some elastic in it, but then I went and got some hair ties and um have been knitting those, and they take me like an hour and a half even with like tiny yarn, some of them less, just depending. Like this one's with a chunkier yarn. And I'll set them down and then go through them in a second, but um yeah, it's been nice, and I'm knitting them as like Valentine's Day gifts, and then thinking I might just start offering these at like the art markets I go to, because they're all, well, mostly knit with scrap yarn, and so um it's just like really easy, and it's a just a nice little thing to have. So let's see, let's sort through these. So I'll start with this one. This is with Hue Loco Chartreuse. This is, oh, what, 2 strands of DK and a Surrey held together, or maybe it might be 2 strands of Surrey and a DK. Whatever the pattern called for, I did it wrong. So I like started knitting with one of one and two of the other, and then it was just like was not what was needed for the pattern that I was doing. And then since it's I think it was probably 2 strands of Surrey, but it was like fused together. Like there was no way. So I have this like massive ball of lime green fuzzy yarn. And so I should have gotten on that during Brat summer, but these are fun. It's also still like one of my favorite colors, so I'll keep knitting with those. A good use of those. This one is kind of wet. It's still blocking. But these are knit with the Taos wools, the leftover from my Flutterbutt shorts and my woolen honey sweater. So just a nice like burnt orange. I'll show you the dry one. This is leftover Barocco Remix Light. I did move, but I still live in the town that has the university here in it, and so there's always a need for like the school colors. I mean, anywhere in the state there's a need for the school colors, which is great. But um, yeah, that one's a fun one. And then this one is knit with Lang, whatever their mohair is. This is 2 strands held together. I'm doing like acrobatics with my hands, but yeah, there's that one. And then this one is just a white wool left over from my sweater vest, my Fair Isle sweater vest. This is the white wool and the mohair, and then this is just the plain wool. So you can see the fuzz and the no fuzz, which is kind of fun. Both of these are still wet from blocking. And then this is also left over from my, you can see I lost a nail. I just noticed, I forgot. But this is also left from that Fair Isle sweater, just a dark gray, like a dark heathered gray, black. And then these have been really fun. When I was saying like inspired by color, I was like doing those scrunchies. They go by really fast. It was great. And then I was still like, well, I don't want to use any of these scrap yarns that I have. Like, I don't know what's going on with my brain, but I needed something vibrant and colorful to sort of snap me out of it. And this is a sock yarn that my mom gave me last year for Christmas. And I started knitting socks with it, but I was wanting to do textured socks, and with the variegated yarn, it was like not really like I wasn't having it. So I think I'm gonna knit a bunch of these. We usually have like a big pride festival with like vendors and stuff in the summer. And also they're just cute anyway, but I was like, oh, I could just use that and make like a bunch of rainbow scrunchies if I want to be a vendor at Pride Fest. So But also like spoiler to any of my friends that are watching, but I like posted it on my story, and then like almost everyone that I was planning to give a Galentine's present to um liked the Instagram story. So I was gonna give them all like white and ethereal, like cutie ones, and then I'm like, nope, I'm giving all my friends rainbow because they're colorful and vibrant and like make me feel good, and they make me feel like this, like a little rainbow spiral. What do you think about earrings? Oh, actually, I thought that was a joke, but that's kind of cute as heck. So, um, yeah, these are all the scrunchies I've made. What is that? 5, 10, 10 of them that I've made, and I think I have like 35 pieces of elastic or like hair ties. So I'm just cruising through them. I didn't plan to show you all like the yarn for all of them, but it's fun, and they're like fully functional. You know, like obviously I could have wrapped it way more times because this is a tiny ponytail, but they're like strong hair ties. It's that like the scrunchie brand. I like that's how I say it in my head every time. The SCU with the 2 dots and CHI. Like, and they're tight. Like I don't know the last time I bought a fresh hair tie, but it's been like kind of eye opening to have those. Just the little joys in life. But yeah, those are my finished objects. Like technically on paper I have, what would that be, 10, 12, 13 finished objects in the last 11 days, but the sweater is the only like intensive one, and that's the only one that I started pre New Year, and everything else I have like truly knit since the year started. But I did start the other one early because my birthday is January 3rd, so it's a little. You gotta be fast. You gotta be fast after Christmas, like gift knitting, to make it work. I feel like very rambly and chaotic, but maybe you guys liked that last time. It's been fun. I feel like very the energy and creative energy are there. They're just like pew, 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 pew. So moving into works in progress. I have 2 that I've been working on since before the holidays, but I have just kind of like lost a little motivation on them. Well, one of them I ran out of yarn and had to order yarn, and I'll show you that one first. So this is a just show you. Doesn't really match the scarf, but new tattoo alert. Thanks, Todd. Very cute. This is quite the outfit we've got going. So this is a self-drafted jacket. And it's like cropped and it's gonna be fitted. I blocked the top part of it, but the bottom hasn't been blocked yet, so it like is a little bit more drapey than it's looking. And I also still have to do the button band on this side. I just needed to see how many buttons I had to work with. So we're kind of mid-process here. So this is, like I said, self-drafted. It's just like a raglan cardigan. A pretty basic pattern, but this is knit with Louisa Harding's Enorm yarn. It's coming across kind of orange because of my scarf. Let me get you a skein. And also the lighting in this room is kind of warm, but it's this like incredible chunky yarn that's got some like really fun texture to it. How do I make that focus? I have no idea if it will, but yeah, it's like almost like, to me it comes across as neutral, but there's like some greens and golds in it, and so it's just kind of like the yarn just makes me feel like really cozy. But unfortunately it is a what's the word, a discontinued yarn. So I bought 3 skeins of it up in the yarn shop up in Cody, Wyoming, and then was like, oh, I can make something with this. It's like 70 yards. Like, you dummy. There's no way that you were gonna make like any sort of garment with that. And it's also like $30 a skein. So I don't know. I was like, maybe I was trying to be like thrifty or something. And I was like, oh, this will be fine. Then I start knitting and I have like a very nice vest going. And I'm like, there's no way there's going to be sleeves on this jacket unless I get more yarn. So I ordered 2 more skeins. I had to go through 2 different yarn stores. I think one was Yarn and More, and I forget what the other one is called. One's in Virginia and one's in Maryland, and one like shipped no problem. Well, that's not true. I guess I put like in-store pickup. I live in Wyoming. I don't live in Virginia. And I was like, I am an idiot. Can you please ship it to me? And they were kind enough to ship it to me. I'll put the names of the yarn stores on screen because they were like really, really great customer service at both of these local yarn shops. And so Want to give them some love. So I ordered the one and it was like ready for pickup in Virginia. And I was like, oh no, can you please ship it? And then they shipped it and it was really sweet of them and like waived the shipping fee because it was for the holidays. And then the other one I ordered online. They said there was only one skein. So I ordered that one. And then the owner of the store called me, or someone that works at the store, I guess, called me and was like, oh, it doesn't have a band on it. Like we have two skeins. And I was like, oh, cool. Just you can send the one that I ordered. Like, not a problem. And then I knit through the one that I ordered in like an entire sleeve. And I was like, I called them back and I was like, I know you said you had two. This was like on Christmas Eve too. Like incredible. I like really thought that they would be off. But anyway, so I like called and said, I was like, do you still have it? Because the color is I think I said the color is number 12 wicker and it's yeah, just been completely discontinued. And she's like, we do have it. And I was like, oh, thank God. And it doesn't I didn't check dye lots or anything. Like the it's enough of a variegated yarn that it like doesn't really matter. I wish the green came through stronger. I think no, it's just a really beautiful sage green. But anyway, so I like yeah, they ended up shipping it and so now I have two remaining balls of it and I'm hoping that's enough to do a button band, a few more inches on a sleeve and a whole other sleeve. So we'll see. But I also have to rip out part of the current sleeve that's done because I started doing decreases and I haven't felt like working on this like since Christmas and so um I don't know what my decrease pattern was anymore. So I think in the end of the day, like I would have my plan initially was to make the Reluctant Homeschooler with this by Caitlin Hunter, Boyland Knitworks. But there was just no way I was going to be able to get enough yarn. And also at this point, I'm like 6 skeins into this. It's like almost a $200 mini jacket. Super warm though, very dense. Probably could have knit it on like even thicker needles. I went with like the recommended size. But it's like she's thick. So yeah, it's just been like a fun project. I'm really gonna enjoy wearing it. I'm imagining it with like just like a little t-shirt and jeans and probably open. Oh, and that's another thing. My friend Anna is making ceramic buttons to go on it. So when I said I needed to wait and see how many buttons I could use, that's why. So she's making buttons and it's like a cute little collab. Um and so we'll see if we'll see if she buttons. If not, I think it will also be plenty warm open and also just like kind of cute like this style, like this much of a gap. With just like jeans and a t-shirt underneath. And I think it's going to be great. I think also I have right now the sleeves like decreasing as they go down, but I might just knit them long and then do ribbing so they have like a little bit of a bubble. We're going to see if I think that I can swing that. Um with the yarn that I do have. If I have to buy a 7th skein of this yarn, that just like is what it is, but I hope I can find it is the biggest thing because everywhere is like out of this color. So yeah, so that's my jacket project. And one of my works in progress. I'm like talking about it, I'm getting more excited about it, which is good because I just wound this yarn this morning. It's been like sitting on the floor of the craft room the since it got here right after Christmas. So I'm like getting a little bit more excited to work on this, which is great. And kind of the purpose of the podcast. I think I like have a little bit of accountability. So yeah, but yeah, that's that jacket. Um and then my other project I've been working on since before Christmas and I'm also a little bit burnt out on, but it happens because it sucks. It's from the Summer Lee sock project book. But it's Trompe-l'Monde socks. In the book, they're knit with like pink and red, which is so cute. Let me try and hold it that way so I'm not blocking the light. But I'm knitting these with two more Mezzo Makes hand dyed from a subscription, like a club. This was still from the Cryptid Club. I'm using this color, which is Chupacabra, which is just like a really good, really, really good skein of yarn. And then this one, I don't remember the name of because I knit some Christmas ornaments with it last year. And didn't save like the band is long gone. It's not Yeti, that one. If anyone else happened to be subscribed, this is Yeti. It's like a little bit more vibrant, but it's like similar colors, but the lighter version. And I don't remember which one this was, but it makes a really beautiful combination. I just need to stop doing 2 colorwork socks at once in Magic Loop because the tangle is like, well, right now I don't even have this one attached, but like the I've just caused chaos for myself. And I liked knitting 2 socks at once I got to like the foot of the last socks I did like this, but this continues in the colorwork the whole way around. It's colorwork and slip stitches. But like continues all the way down the top of the foot, and like the color work is all the way around and the slip stitches are on the top of the foot. So I could just like put one of these on stitch holders or on a stitch holder, and like once I get ready to start the heel, and I might do that because now saying it out loud, that seems like a rational person plan. And because it's such a like strict repeat of colors, I won't like accidentally make a sock too much or like smaller than the other, which is kind of why I like doing 2 at once because then the socks are guaranteed to be the same size. But yeah, that might be the move. I think I'm supposed to go to like 5 inches. Oh, don't fall. Okay, or fall and get wedged. I'm supposed to go to like 5 inches, and I'm at 4.5. Okay, wow. Just film a podcast and the motivation comes back. I'm like, I can do this. um, but yeah, I might do that and then um get both off of here. I do still like knitting with Magic Loop. I don't know that I like it as much as I'm only doing it on these big needles because I obviously can't do 2 at once on my like little interchangeable Chow-goos. So, but these big needles are nice. I think I bought them for my May camisole and they've been great. So yeah, that's my only other work in progress. But thanks for the motivation. This has been good for me to think that I can actually finish the projects that I currently have on the needles. All right, back with plans and acquisitions. So I alluded to it a little bit, I mean, like throughout this podcast, but I'm just like I'm burnt out. I don't want to knit. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I was like knitting so much as I got adjusted to my new space. I don't know if it's because there's like no patterns that are really like calling to me. I don't know. Um, I'm doing a low buy year, so I'm trying to knit through yarn stash. This is pretty much like single skeins, and then this is stuff that has like a garment quantity, or at least like a partial garment quantity. Like would need to order a little bit more of this if I were to make something with it. But things that get me started on a project. And but so I'm doing a low buy year. Um, why? I don't want to contribute to the new administration's economy. I want to be investing in my community. I want to be investing in secondhand, handmade, secondhand and handmade. And then I also want to be like reassessing what my concept of enough is. I feel like I moved into this house and I was like, you can spend whatever you need to get comfortable there, which is really, really important. And I was super fortunate to like be in a scenario where I could do that. But I also now have like depleted my savings entirely and like racked up a really like a little bit of credit card debt. And so I'm like, I don't like need more stuff. I don't need anything. I have enough. I have things to keep me entertained. Like in addition to the yarn, I have like embroidery stuff. I have sewing like fabric over here. I have paints. I have calligraphy ink. I have watercolors, all this stuff. And so like just to stimulate my little lizard brain, I don't need to be spending money on more art supplies at the moment. So I'm working through the stash that I have. Unless there's like a pattern that I want to make immediately, like if I'm going to buy the pattern and buy the yarn and knit it, I can do that. Which I might do with the Staffen cardigan, or the Staffen, not the cardigan. I want to do the pullover, but the Staffen pullover that Rebecca Clow released on Friday, on January 10th. That sweater, I'm going to make it for my dad. And so I think if I like buy the pattern and knit it twice, like I think that that'll be like, it's a good a good use of the pattern, as if I don't have like hundreds of other patterns. But I really, really love that one. Ooh, excuse me, do you hear that? That was a gross burp. I always burp when I'm filming. I don't know if it's because like like I work from home and I'm like quiet most of the time besides talking to the dog or like on the phone with people. And so whenever I like get going like this and talk for 30 straight minutes, my body's like, chill out, girl. But anyway, so yeah, unless I'm knitting stuff immediately, I'm not buying patterns, I'm not buying yarn, which is like gonna kind of limit me from buying hand dyed this year, um, which financially good investment, emotionally, mentally bad because I love what all the hand dyers do. So we'll see once I like get through the stash what I'm good, like able to do. I just want to get away from having like I love being part of the clubs and subscriptions, but I have like a bunch of one skein of a bunch of stuff and not a lot of ideas on what to do with it. So just trying to work through that. I also um am focusing on commissions and gifts. So like the scrunchies will be great. I'm gonna try and like knit more things for markets. The last market I did in December, I didn't have anything knit for sale, and I like registered for the market under show me your knits, and there was like not a single knitted good on the table. So I'm gonna try and think of like some stuff that um is small and affordable, but also have people sign up or like have the potential to sign up for commissions there. I'm gonna be doing a Sophie hood commission, like the Sophie scarf, but the full hood. And I got this really great orange yarn that's coming in the mail from Hobby for that. And that commission's coming. I have a friend that was interested in a sweater, and we're just trying to nail down a design. So yeah, like I think I just need external motivation and inspiration because besides staffing, there's like nothing new that I've seen come out that I really, really want. So I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just in a knitting rut. But the scrunchies have been fun, especially the rainbow ones. Like this is adding the color into my life that I needed. Like I said, those are going into Valentine's Day gift boxes, so I've got a few more of those to knit. I have enough scrunchies, or enough like hair ties to make quite a few more of those. But then I'm also just trying to focus on other art. I'm working on my first quilt at the moment. Um, this is the, was it Woodland Forest pattern number 330 by Susan Quilts, Suzn Quilts. The pattern's over here, but yeah, it's been fun. I've only done the big tree blocks so far, but it's like a repeat of that, and I'm trying to make that for my dad. I'm trying to do a quilt for some friends of mine that are getting married. I have also just been like, I don't know, I was talking the other day with my friend Ashley about like more art that feels like play. Um, and so I've been like, last night I like drew for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I was like watching a movie and just like was drawing the whole time. I like messed around with some watercolor for the first time in forever this week. I'm really interested in doing some embroidery and some hand quilting. So I still, I mean, like knitting is my love, but it takes like less of my brain power. And I think that I'm in like this weird imbalance of like, I don't want to accumulate any more clothes in my low spend, no buy, whatever year. Um, and so like there's a mental block there of like, well, I shouldn't be knitting any more clothes either. But like handmade clothes are fine through like these rules that I've generated for myself. But I also, so there's like the mental block of that of like I don't need more stuff. Like I have enough. And then there's the um like knitting is my like meditation and like sit like I can sit there and be on the couch, but then like I've been like doing stuff all around my house all week. Like I've had YouTube videos and movies going on my laptop and I'm just like downstairs. I'm not up here in the living room. So just like a lot of things kind of going on to like settle into the new year to get me back to like a knitting motivation. So yeah, I just want to like I don't know. That's kind of what's going on knitting plan wise. I thought I'd share it in case anybody else is going through something similar, like you're in a rut or you're a big hobby person, but you have like you're doing a no spend January or you're trying to spend less this year. And even if you don't want to like contribute to the new administration's economy, like it's okay to just want to save money because we don't know what the next 4 years holds. Like I give you permission to like hoard money and save money because you don't know. We don't know where we're what the future holds, and that's scary. I like grew up pretty financially unstable, so like I'm in a place now where I'm being pretty serious about it for the first time in my life at 29 years old. So yeah, I think that there's just like a lot to think about and a lot of like emotions around this time of year. And we just got through the holidays. I'm like really rambling about this, but I just want you to know that it's like it's okay. Like me feeling this way is okay. You feeling this way or any part of the many ways that I'm feeling is also okay. Um And we're just going to keep moving forward together and with community because it's kind of, it's all we can do. I also did want to just give a shout out the for no spend and like financial stuff. I've been watching a lot of Emmy Lucas. She's a sustainability um like does a lot of cooking. I think sustainably vegan is like her handle, but she is kind of branching out into this no spend space, and she recently moved to America with her husband. Like he's from the US and then she was from the UK, and so she moved over, and we're like it really resonated the concept of enough. And how that's changed since she moved to the States. So I've really liked watching her. Love following Bravely Go on Instagram. I get their newsletters too. And then I've been watching a ton of the financial diet. I like go through phases too, where I was like, oh, I can sit down and watch an hour-long video where we just talk about everything that's wrong with the world. And then I'm like, no, I need to watch people go thrifting. Like my content is really um I have to be in a mood, and I'll go like a year without watching any financial info like podcasts. Like I watched Money Guys historically too. Like, you know, I just go through phases, but I've really been like getting my head in this like-minded space over the last few weeks. So, yeah, the goal is to just like make things fun again, save up some money and like slow down my production. I knit 30 things last year or like over 30 things, and I have no desire to do that again, but I want to be making and I still want to be creative. Um and yeah, so planes and acquisitions probably will have yarn to show next time, but that's what you get. It's just like a 5-minute ramble about uncertainty in life and burnout, and and it's okay. I like love the new year and I love starting fresh, but this is a fresh start, kind of forces one. All right, thanks so much for listening. I hope that that wasn't, like a negative place to end it. I just want you to feel supported. I want you to know that it's okay to feel this way. Like I want to be real and authentic heading into the new year. I mean, I always feel very like genuine and real and authentic, but I feel a lot more comfortable in these videos now. Like after my last one being so chaotic, I was like, oh, people like this. Like I don't have to be the technical person. I don't have to be the um like the rigid person that knows everything about my knitting, but I just want to like be colorful and be bright and out here making things and sharing them with you and you sharing things with me. And that's what we're doing. So follow me on Instagram if you want to follow along and see all of the colorful, bright, fun things that are inspiring me at the moment. I post everything over there. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along on this like medium productive knitting year. Leave a comment with what you're working on, what's inspiring you, and what goals you have, whether that's knitting wise, saving wise, haircut wise, whatever. What's motivating you in the new year, what you're looking forward to, and um, I'll see you in the next one.